This is Scaring with Sammy. My name's Jonathan, and I am here with scare actor trainer and all-around haunter extraordinaire, David Jedediah Grecius.
Hello.
And today we have full access to Fright Nights at the South Florida Fairgrounds. So we're going to get inside and we're going to work those rooms and give you options and ideas of how you can work those rooms. We're going to focus on 3 different areas. We're going to focus on pop-out scares, scaring, getting in, get the scare, getting out. Then there's teamwork and distractions and working together. And then we have working the rooms, reading the rooms, working them, and bringing them to life. So let's get going. So let's talk about pop-out scares. These are startle scares. These are the meat of the haunt industry. This is what scares people. This is what keeps people coming back. So we're going to go over some pop-out scares. We're going to go over getting in, getting the scare, getting out. So let's get some guests in the spaces and let's see what we can do.
Go!
So this is a classic pop-out startle scare, and it's perfect for multiple scares. Here's how the room is set up. The guests come in through here. They come in and they turn, and there's a huge facade here. And that's what they're going to be looking at, and they're not even going to notice the pop-out right there. Now, if you look at the sight lines, the guests that are coming from here, they're not really going to be able to see much of when that pop-out's going to come. So we're going to be able to get pop-out, 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 pop-out. So let's see it with guests. And action! Freeze! Frankie, did you see Dave pop out from where you are? Didn't see a thing. And you're only 2 people back. So each time as the guests walk by, Dave here has more pop-outs and pop-outs and can keep scaring them as long as he scares and goes back. Action! And cut. Here's another example of a classic startle scare area. Except in this instance, we have 3 different scare points. So as the guests are coming in, kind of where the camera is right now, we have this first pop. Then the guests are coming through. They're coming through. This is Lady Hockley's room, and Lady Hockley is doing her thing. And the guests are walking around, and we have a second pop. And then the guests come through, and they're coming into the garden. And as they're walking through, there is a third pop. In some situations where you have multiple scare points like this, you may have a prime scare. This is the important scare, the most important scare for this, even though you have all 3 of them that you can work. This is Lady Hockley's room. This is sort of the center of this entire house. And Lady Hockley's doing her thing. And this pop is going to be the prime scare. So even though you have all of these extra scare points, you want to hit this one, hit this one. Also, if you notice, this one has fantastic sight lines. The guests are coming in, and until they're right here, they can't see a thing. So let's see it. And action! Freeze! So, tell me, did you see Dave in there?
No.
No. The sight lines are fantastic. They can't see, so that actor can get scare after scare after scare. And go!
Come here! Go on the garden! Get on the garden! Lady Hockley, what? Come here!
And that's the end of one of our actors. Cut. Here's another pop-out startle scare. Pop! Now, an actor that's in this position, in this pop-out scare, might think that their sight lines aren't the most favorable to them because it feels like there's a clear shot from the door of this room over to the pop-out, straight to the pop-out scare. But part of understanding the room is understanding how it's going to work. The guests are walking in that way, and they're going to be walking through, they're going to be walking single file. They are actually going to be interrupting their own sight lines to the scare so we can get multiple scares. Action. Freeze! Now, did you see Dave coming out? A little bit, a little bit, a little bit? Okay, let's go back to 1. back to 1. So what's happening is, this is during, all the lights are on, and you can see everything, and there are no other distractions. Now, the way this room is actually going to work, first of all, it's going to be a lot darker, and there are going to be more distractions in this room. It's going to change the sight lines for the room. So in this room, what's actually going on is that there are going to be other things going on. There are other distractions that are also going to distract from that scare, so that actor can get scare after scare after scare. Action! Who's poisoned? Oh, yes, yes, yes. My poison. I call this up all over the... Oh, it is up. And freeze! Did you see Dave popping out? No. And that's because this room, there's more stuff going on. So even if you think that the sight lines aren't in your favor, check to see how the room works, because the sight lines are probably are. And that pop-out can get out scare after scare after scare. Multiple scares. And that's what we're here for. So here we are in Jed's Chop Shop with a different type of pop-out scare. This is not a door pop-out scare or a curtain pop-out scare. What we have here is just hanging meats, and we have all sorts of distractions. And when the lighting in here, this actually makes you invisible. It doesn't feel that way, but you actually are invisible, and you can get many different types of pop-out scares. Pop out from the sides, pop out from the other sides. You can just move the meat around. Things that look like inanimate objects, when they come after people, that is going to freak them out. You have many different types of scares in here. On the other hand, if you were, instead of doing a pop-out in back, on the other hand, one of the things that we talk about is popping out and back, and how incredibly important it is. Not just when the doors, when you're popping out and get scare after scare after scare, but even in a situation like this. If I were to pop out, and we pop out and get a scare, I'll rip your face up, or whatever it is. As long as I come back, I have power to do another scare, which is greatly reduced if I pop out and then I just stay there and I'm just sort of shouting at people as they're going by. So let's run this once with Dave doing just the pop-outs, and then we'll run it with me doing it the other way, and let's see what it looks like. And action!
Yeah. What? Arrest me! Yeah.
And now, the difference between popping out and getting the scare, and then popping out and just staying there. Action! And now, I'm gonna hurt. Oh, I'm gonna rip your feet off, and I'm gonna chop your toes off, and I'm gonna rip your. Oh, I'm gonna take that ponytail. So, while they're walking by, I'm out here, and I feel like I'm acting, and maybe they're walking by a little bit of cringe, but it's not the same thing as when I come back here, and I'm back out and pop, and that's when you're gonna get the screams. The power that you have is popping out and coming back. It's when you come back, you have the power. You can do all sorts of different types of scares, and that's when you get the screams, as opposed to standing there and kind of just yelling at them as they go by. We're in Jed's Chop Shop in the victim area. What we have here is we have a bunch of cages, and with the lights and the smoke, you really can't see exactly what's going on here. So you wouldn't even notice that as the guests would be walking in this direction, there is a pop-out right here where the actor can get to the guests. So with everything that's going on in this room, this actor, once again, can pop out and back, and pop out and back, over and over again. One thing that sometimes happens is that an actor pops out and once again feels like that they have to stay there. Now, some of the reasoning might be that they popped out and they think, well, I'm already out here, so, in a movie, if I popped out, I wouldn't go back because I'm already out. But that's not what we're dealing with here in a haunt. We're dealing with these tiny moments in time. So for us, the movie is every time that actor popping out, and that's going to be the scare. Some actors might think, well, since I popped out, I don't want them to see me sort of getting back into place. But in actuality, the guests don't really notice this. This is just in our heads. This is just for something that, as actors, we have to get over. Because once you pop out, you get the scare. As long as you're going back in place in character, the guests aren't going to notice. The actors, the guests that you just scared, they're already worried about, what's going to come next. Some of the guests that are right behind them that might have seen that a little bit, all they see is movement and somebody disappearing from sight. And then if you wait a couple seconds, you have new guests. So don't worry about what it looks like for you to reset. You scare and go back, and scare and go back. And getting the scare and resetting is even more effective when the rest of the room is in action. Action! Oh, I'm gonna rip your face off! Hey. I'm gonna chop your toes! Popping in, popping out, getting that scare, getting back, getting more scares, getting those screams. We're here in dead of winter in one of the actor hallways where we have access to the guests in numerous rooms. First, you have these cages here that go into the sort of the Santa cage area. So you have access to the guests around here. There is even a door here that you can pop in and get a scare into that area. Now, the guests are walking through that area and they're going to be coming around, and then we have another shot at them, and this is where it gets really fun. We have all of these pop-outs. The guests are walking through there, and there are pop-outs all over the place. Now, you want to be unpredictable with these pop-outs. If I were to start here, then scare here, then scare here, then I'm hitting kind of the same guest the whole way around. But to really make use of this type of area, I'm going to start, let's say I start here, then I pop out here, then I'm going to go here. And that way, by mixing it up, I can keep the guests on their toes. They never know where I'm coming from, and I'm getting scare after scare after scare. Not only that, but I know where the guests are coming. The guests are coming around through here, so I can get a scare through here. This is a wall. This wall right here does not actually have a scare point in it, but I know that the guests are on the other side. I can just bang that wall and get that scare on the other side. And that can be just part of what I'm doing in here. Remember, this is all about unpredictability. Scaring here. Multiple scare points, multiple scares, and it's a lot of fun. So we were just inside this actor area. There's another one on this side. So when everything gets going and you're unpredictable and things are popping up from all over the place, you'll see how it affects the guests. And action! And you see, it was unpredictable, actors coming out of everywhere. The more unpredictable you are and the more fun you have just reaching out and just using that entire area, the more scares you're going to get. A really necessary part of bringing a haunt to life is knowing the stories, knowing what's going on, and of course, being able to read and work a room. So let's take a look at that. Now, sometimes you're going to be working a room that has more of an open sight line. So the guests that are coming from the door, they're going around the bed here, and for the most part, they can kind of see this pop-out. So if I'm going to be doing just multiple pop-outs, everybody's seeing what's happening before it happens. So what you want to do in this situation is you want to diffuse that by popping out and using the room. So the guests are coming in, boom, I get my pop-out, and then I'm moving around the room. The guests are there, I've got this pop-out, and I'm playing with the guests. Here I am, I'm moving, and then I go back in, banged on the wall over there, and now I'm coming out again. So what I'm doing is, even though this pop-out is in an open sight line, because I'm doing different things and I'm moving around and I'm working the room, I'm still using it in a way that the guests don't know when or how I'm going to be popping out, and I can still get those pop-out scares. And of course, it doesn't hurt when you have another actor helping work this room. That way, you're working the room, and even in an open sight line pop scare, you can still use it to get those Santa's coming. We're here now in Hockley House. This is a really fun room, and when you look at it, it's a great place for a character work and a distraction for a pop-out right there. That's going to be the prime scare. And my job is to keep their attention. That's going to heighten that scare. Not only that, but if you look at the way that this room is set up, if I'm over here, I'm actually going to force them towards that scare. Now, if I were working this room all by myself and I wanted to run about, I could be going in and getting scares. But the way this room is actually set up is for me to control the room and send people that way so that that pop-out can take them out. So we're about to send the guests in. But one thing I'd like you to see is that just because we're the distraction doesn't mean we're not getting the scares as well. Yes, it's important that I'm controlling the flow of the line and that I'm keeping their attention so that that scare can knock them out. But then I can also piggyback a scare on top of that. There's going to be a scare, I'm going to get a scare, and then I'm going to back out because I have this space. Once again, even for the distraction, moving in and moving out. Action! We're all doomed. It hasn't happened yet. Why didn't the seance take? How did they not turn? And that way, I'm the distraction, I'm moving in, I'm getting out, I'm getting the scare, and setting them up for the big scare there. This is about reading a room, figuring out what a room is about. This is the seance room. This is one of the pinnacle rooms, most important rooms in Hockley House, because this is where it all happens, where the seance goes wrong and all the demons come out. So this is the seance room. Now, me, as a scare actor, if I were to just come in this room and think, well, where are my scares? What can I do? I might start over here, get a scare over here, and I might run around, and I might get scares here, but that's not what this room is about. This room is set up to have a seance in it. And we have pop-out scares. There's a pop-out scare there, and a pop-out scare in the corner. So my job here is to bring this room to life with the seance. So instead of me working on getting the scares myself, I'm bringing this room to life, the atmosphere of the room. And action! Oh, the spirits, they move. Do they speak to you? Do they infect you? How do they infect you? Oh, they're infected as well. Oh, the spirits, and they're inside. Oh! So by working the room, I'm letting the scares happen, and I'm telling the story. That's how this room works. That's about reading the room. Here we are in Cutting Edge. This is the medical room where people are being turned into robots, machines, and parts. Now, if you see this room, it's kind of bright, and there aren't really as many places for me to pop out of nowhere. But that's not what this room is about. Look at what we have here. Look at the props. Look at the sets. It's gorgeous. We have so much to play with. So what I want to do with this room, when I'm seeing how this room needs to be brought to life, is I'm creating what's going on in this room. I'm working on the people. I'm putting this together, so I'm bringing that to life. And we still have a pop-out back there where Dave is going to crush them. So here we are, and action! Mine. No, this doesn't. Oh, why?
Louder!
Why isn't it operating? It's operating!
What?
That way, I'm not hiding somewhere to get a pop out, but I'm using the room. I'm still moving back and forth and getting scares, but bringing the room to life, reading the room. We're in dead of winter. This is Santa's forest. Santa works this area. Taking a look at what we have here, we have this whole area that Santa can play in. But we still use the same principles of scaring and coming back. So Santa can start in this area here, completely hidden from the guests that are coming from that area, can move around, has this whole area to play, and then can broadside them as they're coming out. And the important part, of course, is the broadside, but still coming back, and that way you're still a threat, as opposed to popping out and just standing there while the guests go by. Even in full sight, scaring, coming back, gives you the power.
Don't touch my trees! What are you doing here? Oh, look at you. I'm gonna make a tree out of you.
Santa's not happy.
Every last one. Where are you going? Get in that house. Get in that house. I get you.
And Santa's creating his own power by going after them and coming back. Coming back gives him the power. That's how we can work a room. Now let's talk a little bit about
Teamwork.
that's working together, working as a group to really get those scares. And teamwork is incredibly important in a haunt. Teamwork can help intensify and elevate scares. And it's not just the person doing the scaring. The team is what's important. If I'm helping somebody get a scare, if I'm helping intensify that scare, if I'm providing the distraction for that scare, I am a part of that scare. As actors, we think, well, I need to get the scare, I need to get the scare. But being part of a team where you're part of the distraction, you are part of that scare, and you're intensifying that scare, and that is an incredibly important part of the haunt. So let's look at some distractions. Here we are in Jed's Chop Shop, the Bait Shack. And this is a fantastic place for a distraction to really elevate those scares, because we have a scare over here, and we have a scare right by the door. Now my job, being right here, is I can see the guests as they're walking in, and I want them to see me. And I'm gonna make eye contact with them. I'm gonna do whatever I can to make them worried about what I'm gonna do, because that's gonna distract them from these two scares. I have Dave set up as the distraction. What you're going to see is that as the guests are coming in, he is moving around, because after we get a scare on somebody, he wants to get at the attention of the next person. So he's moving back and forth, keeping their attention so that we can get these scares back and forth. Without the distraction, these would have been pop-outs, they would have gotten scares, nowhere near as strong and intense, because they were watching him and we were able to get him from the sides. Here we are in Hockley House, with a distraction for a different type of scare, or an intense pop-out scare. Pop! Now there's an added dimension to this position, because I'm not just a distraction, I'm also acting a little bit as a protector. Because the guests are coming in, you have an actor that's on the table, they're actually going to be within reach of the guests. So my job is not only as a distraction, but also to be ready to sort of get in between the guests and the scare there. Now, one thing you might be thinking is, well, if the guests are being a problem, what if they're going to do something to that guest? How safe do I feel walking in and around them? Well, here's the thing. Dumb guests that are going to be touching things actually are dumb guests. And if there is a spectacle or a distraction here, they're not going to be thinking about the person that's walking around. So you can get in and protect them, and they're not even really going to notice you as much. Just remember, getting in, getting through, getting in their way, and getting out so that your fellow actor can get out of the way. Action! Oh, the master, is it? Oh, the master, it's dinner time. Have you eaten? The food is, it's delicious. The master is here, and the wine. So we're acting as a distraction. And when one of the guests is starting to get reachy or something, it is our job to be able to get in and protect as well. Here we are in Cutting Edge. And this is a more advanced teamwork technique called cycling. And the way this works is when you have an area that has a pass, but it has pass-throughs on both sides, so two actors can move in and actually switch positions. They're cycling through their positions. So there's actor A, myself here, and then actor B, Dave, who is in the pop-out. What's going to happen is the guests are coming in, and I'm going to be doing the distraction, and I'm going to be leading them this way. And the guests are coming this way, and while I'm doing that, Dave is popping out. So I'm leading the guests around. Here I am, I'm playing with the guests. After the last guest is gone, actor B is pushing them forward. Then actor B is getting back in position, and now actor B is in actor A position, and I'm here to get scares, and we keep on going. This is called cycling. Actors in position, and action. Oh, they ripped my shoulder off. How did they do? Replacing me with parts. They're going to replace you too. The buzzsaws don't hurt anymore.
Come on in. Oh, we're gonna cut you up. I can't wait.
And we ran out of guests, but otherwise there would be the next group of guests, and we cycle and cycling. That's an advanced teamwork technique, cycling. We're back in Jed's Chop Shop. This is the Swamp, and this is a great example of a circular room. One actor can work this room. We have a full pathway all the way around. The guests are coming through the path where Dave is right now. He's going to pass through here and out around the other side. Meanwhile, the actor can pass back through to the front, which means the actor can hit on both sides as well as working around the swamp. So as the guests come through, you have multiple chances for a scare. He's banging on the wall, creating the anticipation. So by the time that they come around, they know something's going to happen, and he pops out anyway. Now he's moving around, getting in the front. He's filling this room, just going after the guests, and he has making himself opportunities to get more and more scares. And then he's going to chase them right out. The options you have with a circular room are limitless, so you just have to learn how to use it, practice it, run around, and have fun. So thanks to Fright Nights at the South Florida Fairgrounds for letting us use this amazing space. We got a chance to look at pop-outs, getting in, getting the scare, getting out. We took a look at teamwork and how important that distraction is and how you can work together, protect each other, and get scares. And we talked a little bit about ideas about how to work a room, how you can figure out what a room is about and bring the story to life. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found something interesting. I hope it gave you some ideas, new ideas on how to scare. This is Jonathan.
David.
And this is Scaring with Sammy.